We are live right here on Totem Pole Nation. What a way to start the day, Coach. It's a little dreary over here in Central Florida. Looks like it's getting ready to rain again.
Yeah, absolutely. My neck of the woods, it is definitely looking similar. We've been able to miss the rain, and I've had people reach out like, "Man, how bad is the heat there?" Well, the heat is bad everywhere. Breaking news: the heat is bad everywhere. We're just lucky enough to be used to it, at this point. And what they probably don't know is I'm one of those weirdos that hops in the car like it's a sauna for a good 20 minutes so I can sweat like a hostage and, mess with my mind a little bit. It messes with my mind a little bit. And it's funny. You hop out of the car, it's 90 degrees, and you're like, oh, how refreshing.
Folks, you really don't understand the health regimen that this man goes through every day with his supplements that he takes, his workout routine. Even a shower is freezing cold to Coach Bald. Wakes him up, gets his vital fluids pumping, opens and closes the pores simultaneously. He's just ready to rock and roll. All systems and synapses are firing. And for a weight loss regimen, if you want to get a good sweat on, do what the coach said and jump in the car when it's 120 degrees in the car, and you will perspire. That's a guarantee. Oh, you don't have the engine turned when there's no air conditioning going. There's no windows cracked. So, yeah. Hardcore. Yeah. The coach is hardcore when no one else is hardcore. All the hardcore wrestlers are falling by the wayside, but this guy keeps them going.
Yeah, speaking of the wrestlers, I want to give a huge shout out to my big brother, Fidel Sierra, the Cuban assassin, 68 years old today.
God bless him.
I believe I've known him for probably 4 or 5 years now. And yeah, man, I'm so proud of my big brother. I've seen his life change right in front of my eyes. He's come in to our clinic and he has gotten the ketamine therapy. And it's done so much just for the pain. But, I think it's made him a more, calmer individual as well. He's kind of been known. You can watch a lot of his promos where, man, the guy was a mad man.
Intense.
But
Very intense.
This has been something that has helped him kind of lower the madness, if you will. And super proud of him. He's on a good regimen himself of where he's dropping some LBs, but gaining some strength because the game plan is he wants to make one more tour, one more run. And
really?
Yeah, I'm super fired up for him. And he knows what he's got to do, and I'm excited for it. And I look forward to seeing what he's doing, in the future. We're going to be celebrating him this weekend at a certain time and everything. But yeah, super proud of him. Big happy birthday. Just a legend in the game. I'm talking about from going on tour, with Andre over in Japan. He's a Hiro Matsuda disciple, and those who are not familiar with him, he's one of the guys that trained Hulk Hogan. He trained Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff. He was one of the guys that trained Brian Blair, Killer B. Legends in the game. If you don't know those names, then you really don't know old school wrestling because those guys are definitely some of the best of all time. But happy birthday, big fella.
Coach, did you know that when Hogan walked into Hiro Matsuda's dojo, his training center, on the very first day of professional wrestling training, Hiro Matsuda broke Hulk Hogan's leg? He figured he's just a big, jacked up bodybuilder pretty boy who doesn't have his heart in the game. And Hogan broke his leg. Well, he broke Hogan's leg, and Hogan hobbled out of the place. And 1 month later, he came back and said, "Let's go, I'm ready." So
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I had heard that. And that's what kind of, him coming back early and being, so focused. That's what earned him a lot of respect. And it was just different back then. You really had to go through a gauntlet. They would try to beat the hell out of you and make you not come back, just so you could kind of earn your way, into those territories. You had to earn it. Nothing was given back then. It wasn't, well, we're going to graduate you because this guy. It was, we're going to beat the hell out of you. We don't want you coming back, and we're going to take your money. It's going to be easy. But, the strong would survive then. And yeah, that's one of the things that really solidified him, because he could have easily, with that broken leg, just never came back and just been, just a story.
And he could have been a bass player for Metallica too. So have you heard that story?
yeah, I have, man.
And he also developed a cure for cancer back then too, but the scientists wouldn't accept it. He couldn't get it passed by the FDA. Hogan would tell some tall tales, but folks, the Hiro Matsuda story is absolutely correct. Did you know the Iron Sheik, when he was trained by Vern Gagne in a barn out on Gagne's property in the Midwest, when the Iron Sheik was coming in, the Iron Sheik was in a training class with, I think, Ken Patera and Ric Flair.
Wow.
And Kurt Hennig. They were all coming up, and they had to tell Khosrow Vaziri, who is the Iron Sheik, that's his real name. Vern Gagne had to step in during the training and say, Khosrow, calm down, stop. Because the Sheik was a Olympic-class athlete. He was a collegiate champion, and especially a champion over in Iran. Mm-hmm. And when he got heated in the ring, because he thought it was real, they didn't smarten him up to the fact that wrestling is predetermined, it's all choreographed. They beat you up the first couple of times you're there just to see if you got the heart, like you said, to stick with it. And he got a little heated, man. He started throwing guys and bodies everywhere, almost breaking limbs. And they had to say, dude, this is just kayfabe. Kayfabe, folks, means fake and wrestlerese. This is just kayfabe. Calm down. I mean, he was going off like Troy Taylor when he's got to do a 9 p.m. podcast. He was going off.
Yeah, amen. Yeah, we got to check in with Coach Taylor on how that went.
Here's a guy just say good morning. And
good morning.
I think you know this man by a different name, by an alias.
Yeah, Mr. Biggs.
Mr. Big is in the house.
We got a lot of good stuff going on with him. To be a fly on the wall. When the good fellas are there having a time, that's what it's like listening to that amazing podcast that you guys got going on. And yeah, speaking of a late nighter, 10 o'clock we're going. Is that correct, on Friday?
10 o'clock on Friday. It's Mr. Big After Hours. We did a podcast yesterday called Tales from the Mafia. And Mr. Big is actually a very, very prolific documenter, a chronicler, if you will, of the mafia lifestyle, the mobster lifestyle from the 50s to the early 80s. He knows all. And, man, we did that podcast yesterday. We went over a little over an hour, just a scooch over an hour, a frog's hair over an hour. And we didn't even scratch the surface of what went on back then. We talked about the building of Las Vegas. We talked about the entertainers who came and went, and the influence that the mob had on them and how they promoted their careers. And like I said, we barely just chipped the paint off the thing. It was just amazing. The layers that were being peeled back. Like an Onion. I threw that plug in there for you, Mr. Big. Nice. He's got a book, Like an Onion. And, yeah, it was just amazing. And we're going to get more into it today. Friday, I should say. I keep thinking today's Friday for some reason. I woke up in that mindset. Friday night, 10 p.m. It'll be live. And you'll be, like I said, you'll be able to catch all these fine shows that we do here on Totem Pole Nation. Even life lessons. You could, what time is it right now? 7:46 in the morning Eastern time. You could watch life lessons 7:46 p.m. Eastern time if you're so inclined. You can watch it any time of day on Facebook, Twitter, and the easiest way to find us is the YouTube Totem Pole Nation YouTube channel. Just click in, click on, and turn on to what we've got going on.
Yeah, absolutely, Johnny. You hit it on the head, and it was interesting that you just brought that up. Watching it anytime. There was a gentleman that that I follow, and I got to follow back from him on social media, And he just kind of was apologizing to everybody that he's going through a lot of good. He's going through some depression. He's in a big time depression mode. And I sent him the link of our show yesterday morning. And I was like, brother, you're not alone. You know what I mean? You hit us up if we can help you. There's hotlines to help people if you're feeling like you can't take it anymore. So yeah, I reached out to him and sent him the morning podcast because I just think we hit on a lot of good things yesterday, just like we're going to hit on a lot of good things today. That whole mental health thing, it's a son of a gun, and everybody's gonna be dealing with it at different times, and waves hit. And I think one day a superhero is going to be, being able to stay calm, during chaos, or chaotic moments. And, I run myself through a gauntlet, with different things, with drinking the apple cider every morning. It tastes terrible. With taking the cold shower, it doesn't feel great. With hopping in the car at 100+ degrees for 20 minutes, sweating everything out. I do these things because they're difficult, and I want to be able to remain calm, during that. I can't tell you how many times I've been, in the pool before and had friends from out of town, and, they'll stick their toe and be like, oh my God, water's so cold. How are you doing it? How are you even breathing right? And it's like, well, this is what I do. This is kind of, what I'm used to. And yeah, I think you figure yourself out, during, situations like that. And, me being the age I am, I just, when I think back, how many times have I made a great decision when I was, super, pissed off, or just super, super rushed in a situation, or super mad. How many times have I made a great decision? And it's not a whole lot of times. You know what I mean? A lot of times your best bet is just to kind of take a step back, take a deep breath, and say, what would Frank Sinatra do?
Right.
What would David Goggins do? What would Tony Robbins say? And I think when you can be patient enough to do like that, I think you'll get a better answer than freaking out and making things worse.
Absolutely. Mr. Big says, be sure to like and subscribe. And that's it. Words to live by, Mr. Big. Please, if you like what you see, please like us, subscribe to us. And the little thumbs up, folks, helps people find us on YouTube, believe it or not. It sorts things out. It shuffles the deck of cards to make the non-subscribers find us on YouTube. So that's something there. And here we go. Matt Davis chimes in. Matt Davis says, because Coach Bald is a savage. Yes, he is. You didn't tell him the lemon story, by the way. You said that yesterday. For those who don't know, when you're feeling confused, you're feeling anxious.
Right. For me, it's worked, and I know for other people it has worked also. Two little tricks of the trade. When you're not feeling right, you're feeling that anxiety, you're feeling like you're jumping out of your skin. Have you some lemons or limes at the house at all time, or wherever you're at. Put them in your bag, put them in your lunch bag, make them available. Okay. Chop them up, cut them up, just like we did back in the day with the oranges. Everybody played soccer one time, and you had your little bag of oranges. That'd be your after the game snack, right? At least that's how it was back in our day. But yeah, hey, you just grab that thing and you just bite into that lemon. You bite into that lemon, and for me, my mental, instead of me thinking, everything is out of whack, the next thing I'm thinking is, man, this thing is so freaking sour. It starts hitting my jaws, it starts hitting my brain, and all I can think is, man, why did I do that?
Right.
I'm not thinking, why am I feeling antsy? Why am I feeling, like I'm about to jump out of my skin? All that is gone. Now all I can think about is my jaws, that sourness, and it gets you, it reboots you, man. It
It
kind of
does.
reprograms you. Same thing with cold water. You hop in, jump in some cold water really quick. I see people, that'll do the cold water splash on their
Mm-hmm.
face, but I'm telling you, a whole cold shower. You're grabbing that towel. You're worried about heating yourself back up. You're cold, and that all those negative thoughts, they're gone. Instead, you're thinking of, man, I need to, to warm up, man. I am cold. But it does. It kind of reboots you.
It does.
It re-triggers you, and it grounds you. And anybody that has had that anxiety feeling, or those panic attacks, the panic attacks are some of the worst things in the world. It makes you feel like you really want to pull your skin apart and get away from that feeling. And me being a healthy person, man, when I used to get them, there was nothing worse, because it just messed with my mind. Like, man, I always do healthy stuff. I eat properly. I train like crazy. I'm in great health. Why is this happening to me? And, hop into cold shower, boom, all that stuff passes by. It helps that stuff pass by, because when you get trapped in that feeling, man, there's no worse feeling. You feel like you'll do anything to stop feeling that panic attack that's going on. And it's just a little trick of the trade. If anybody has anything else that they've tried that has worked for them, man, send it my way, because that's what we're about here. We're about healing people. And, sometimes just telling your story, heals yourself with the words coming right out of your mouth. Or if Johnny's telling a story, it's soothing to me to hear it. So, yeah, that's what we're about here. We're about sharing, our experience, our life lessons. So, maybe that wall that feels unclimbable is nothing but a little speed bump or a little crack in the road, and we get right past it with no problem, no obligations.
That lemon trick, I actually tried that. I didn't have lemons. I tried limes.
Hey.
So I chopped up a lime. I took a bite of one, and the tequila might have been involved in that last night. So I'm just saying, it does work, folks, especially when you mix it with other things. We've got a couple comments coming in right now. Be sure to like and subscribe. And not only are you in good shape, Mr. Big says you are a good-looking man.
Thank you.
And he also threw out a compliment that I'm a god of broadcasting, and I'm not a god of broadcasting. I just dabble at this because I'm retired, folks. That's all. My hat's off to you, Mr. Big. Where's my hat? I forgot my hat. The coach's hat's off.
Hats off to you, Mr. Big. We appreciate everything you're bringing to the table. And
exactly.
Future's bright. I can't wait to talk to some of Vegas's most exclusive people, because I know you're in that category, and you know the who's who and who to send us to. I look forward to everything that's going on with that, man. Big time, Mr. Biggs.
Now, Mr. Biggs an older gent now, but back in the past, all I'd have to say is he was imparting to me some knowledge. I have to say, Mr. Big, if I had a fraction of your action, I wouldn't be sitting here right now. I'd be on a beach in Acapulco. That's where I'd be. So, exactly. Make it rain, baby. Make it rain.
Yeah, amen. Amen.
There's another one from Matt. Good morning, fellas. In Totem Pole Nation, nothing better than being the low man on the totem pole. We're the low man on the totem pole right now, Coach, but what do you think? Are we rising up? Are we moving up?
We are on the rise. We got a lot of good stuff coming. Football season's coming. I know we're gonna be. We're working on having a fantasy football show, possibly. There's going to be a pick'em show that we're in the works with, and I think we're going to try to get Mr. Matt Davis, involved in it. He is a humongous Detroit Lions mark. He loves those guys, and I tell you what, a real fan when I say, hey, man, he's a Detroit Lion fan, because what have those guys won in the last 20 years?
You got to have hope, Coach. You got to have hope. You got to have faith. Like George Michael said, you got to have faith.
Hey, that's the amazing thing about sports is your life can be amazing. You can be living a great life, but if your football team stinks, guess what? Life ain't all that great. And then vice versa.
Hmm.
You could have the pits and just not, be down and out all the time. But man, on Sunday, if your squad is balling, you are unstoppable. You are unfadable yourself because you're part of the team, right?
That's right. That's right. Matt says, let's make some money, Mr. Big. He wants to hook up with Mr. Big and possibly go to Vegas, play some table
Ooh,
games. And Mr. Big says, we could do that, Mr. Davis. So,
look at that. We are making
yeah.
combos. We got Wisconsin in the house.
Michigan in the house. We got the
Yeah,
tag team,
man.
the Midwest tag team.
That's it, man. That's it. You got the Florida boys here
That's it.
holding down the state.
Hmm.
Hey
And
man,
we,
when did you move down to Florida?
oh, it's very, very recent. We moved down March 1st. That's when for March 1st, day one, right in the house.
Wow,
Yeah.
wow, that is phenomenal. Yeah, we got a lot of catching up, and there's a lot of good stuff about this state, man. I love it. You
Hmm.
really just don't have all you really have to do is take staycations. You don't even have to leave this state. There's just
Yeah.
so much going on. We do 2 staycations a year. We stay in Treasure Island, which is pretty much about 25, maybe 30 minutes from us.
Hmm.
I'm on the Tampa Bay side right here.
Hmm.
So yeah, if I was to take a boat on out and wrap around, that's when you're on the Gulf side. So yeah, man, we do it twice a year. My friend Mr. Davis, he always meets us down for one of those, and he's also coming down this year for the Detroit Lions game. So I'm excited about that. Yeah, and if you ever want to catch a football game, we always have two extras on us as well. Is Miss Bottles? Is she a sports fan at all?
We were diehard Ravens fans, and when the Ravens, remember when they had that NFL game over in England,
Mm-hmm.
they played the national anthem, and the Ravens all took a knee, and
Oh,
that's when Mrs. Bottles said, "I'm never watching this crap again." I had to
yeah,
change. She had a few expletives in there, but I'm never watching this crap again.
yeah, yeah.
And
I have.
and she hasn't watched a single game since. I've watched the Ravens games, and I have to watch the Bucks now because I'm down here in the great state of Florida, or maybe even the Jaguars. But the Jaguars are they had a bad season last year, I believe, and from everything I read online, it's not looking too promising this year, considering the lineup that they have. But I don't know. I'm not that much of a football aficionado. I mean, you guys are like the savants of football knowledge, you and Coach Taylor. And I just
We
listen to you guys talk, and it's all
we are
it's all rocket surgery to me. You know what I mean? As they say.
we are the Mr. Biggs of football.
Yes, you
But
are. Yes,
you
you
know,
are.
that's the thing. We've got individuals like Coach McNally, that's come on and he's done the Coach McNally podcast.
Hmm.
I mean, a guy that has been an offensive line coach in 4 Super Bowls. A guy that has been offensive line coach for arguably the greatest left tackle of all time, Anthony Munoz. So when we get him on, or we get to talk to him, or we watch his videos, we are kids in a candy store all over again. So it's great to have mentorship through him, and yeah, he's one of our guys. And it's awesome to be able to sit there and chop it up with him,
Hmm.
and he's old school. He's old school. He talks about his days of being coached by Buddy Ryan, and some of his stories. So yeah, it is just it's amazing stuff we do. We love football because football just it brings a brotherhood, a bond that is just unbreakable.
Hmm.
I've got teammates that could hit me up, right now and say, "Hey, man, I need you on the first plane to fill in the blank."
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm gonna have to make it happen because those are your brothers. It's probably one of the strongest bonds, after the military bonds that guys have and everything. It really is, and that's the beautiful thing is everybody's different. You know what I mean? And
Right.
like I loved coming down here and coaching at having the opportunity to coach at Lakewood High School, because where I'm from, Lakewood was kind of like the equivalent to a Huguenot or to George Wythe, more of a city school.
Right.
So I loved it, and not everybody looked like me, and hardly anybody talked like me.
Mm-hmm.
But once you see you can get better from an individual, you form a bond. And yeah, man, it was great. It was like having a bunch of new sons, but better.
Right.
It was better because I didn't have to feed these big monsters. You know what I mean? Like, holy cow! Some of my guys. I had one guy that at one time was 6'6", 6'7", right about 400 pounds. I mean, but played on the basketball team. Johnny played on the basketball team, just to show
Wow.
you the athleticism, of one of the guys. But yeah, I couldn't imagine having to feed the guy.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Andre the Giant type meals with that guy. We got some more shout outs.
Yeah.
Tim, I'm going to butcher your last name. I don't know if it's Foul or Fall. I hope it's Fall. But if it's Foul, it's okay too. Tim says, "What's up, guys? What's up?"
Great guy, man. Great guy. I think he's another Michigan man. Glad you were watching, brother. We need to chop it up with you, man. It's been a long time. Send us some sunshine, my man. Send us some sunshine. Like, that's the beautiful thing. I've been up there to visit these guys in the summertime, Johnny.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you what, if you do, if you ever partake in day drinking, it can get real dangerous there, because, dude, their sun doesn't go down till 10 o'clock sometimes.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
10 o'clock at night. You could be out there and just have the beautiful sunsets there.
Amazing.
And yeah, just amazing thing. Those guys get it. I mean, terrible. I mean, it's awful in the wintertime. But, man, there's summer times. It's like the Kid Rock song, Summertime in northern Michigan.
There you go.
It is the real
Love that
deal.
song. Love that song. Tim's throwing a challenge down. He says Lions are going to the playoffs, and Michigan's going to win the national championship this year.
Wow.
Strong.
He needs to get with Mr. Biggs and put a max wager in. It might be golden the way those guys the way things are going. I had recently heard that Harbaugh is going to miss the first 4 games. But what my insiders there in Michigan said is the first 4 games are a cakewalk anyway. Mm-hmm. So we'll see what happens with that.
Right. Mr. Big says, anyone interested in NFL picks? Folks, you can find Mr. Big on Twitter at Milwaukee Mob 2. That's capital M, Milwaukee Mob 2. That's how you can find Mr. Big. And he's a great guy to talk to, and he'll talk to you about anything. Mr. Big, if you ask him what time it is, he could tell you how to build a clock. That's how verbose the man is. He can talk, and I love the guy. I just met him. I love the guy. I think he's fantastic. Let's see what we got here. Matt says he's there for the twice-a-year staycation. Every year this year, I'll be down there 3 to 4 times. Football, baby.
Yeah, that's the beautiful thing, too, Bottles, is the place we stay at. They have this amazing opportunity. It's a business that's called Free Beach Ride. Call them Free Beach Ride in Treasure Island. They will come scoop you up. They have multiple vans. Whoever's driving is always super cool. They're playing the music. They know where to get to. They know they're going to get you there safely every time. But it's Free Beach Ride. They all work off of tips. So if you like the service, grease them up. And they make it so nice too, because they personalize it. If you ask them, hey, can we call you later? Usually they're just giving you straight their cell phone. You don't even have to call, the directory number. And yeah, when you call, they know, which side of the beach you're on too. Because they ask you, if you're in Treasure Island, press this button. If you're at Redington Shores, press this button. So want to plug those guys, man. What an amazing service. Because, hey, man, when you're on vacation, every once in a while, you might want to crack a adult beverage. You know what I
Sure.
mean? If you are
Absolutely.
over the age of 21, more power to you. So, yeah, no, and that's the thing that that beach parking, just like everything else with inflation has gone up, and sometimes it's difficult to find a spot. Just get free beach ride to come scoop you and get you to your destination in style and with a cool driver. And yeah, it's one of the best parts
Hmm.
about the whole beach week that we do. And a lot of places we just like walking to as well. We're in a good central location where a mile one way, get to 3 or 4 of our favorite places, a mile the other way, the same type deal.
Right.
But yeah, we'll usually walk there and we'll hit the free beach ride back, or we'll go to our buddy Madness's favorite spot at 2, 3 in the morning, and that would be the Waffle
The
House.
Waffle
That's
House.
where we can
Yes.
make some great. You get some great videos from the Waffle House at 2, 3 in the morning there at Treasure Island.
Do you have to wear a referee shirt when you walk into the Waffle House at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning? Have you seen those Waffle House fights videos that
Yeah,
come up?
yeah,
And
I
that
saw.
Waffle House Wendy, that's what everyone said her name was. Her last name, her real name wasn't Wendy, but they called her for alliteration purposes. Waffle House Wendy. Someone flung a chair like 20 feet through
Oh,
the air, and she
yeah.
batted it out. This little 80-pound girl, she looked like she was a waif. She just slapped it out of the air and said, "Come on, come on."
Oh, man. Not today,
Unbelievable.
Satan. You're
Not
not
today.
taking out. You're not taking out Waffle House Wendy, buddy. You ain't had enough coffee in you.
Let's
Yeah,
see what we
but
got here. We got another one. Tim Fall. Hey, I was right the first time. It's Fall. He said, "Missing you, brother." So,
amen, brother. Yeah,
yeah.
he's just an amazing guy, man. Just a superstar, rock star. But like I said, man, we all go through some tough situations and tough times, and he's been a guy that's been able to weather the storm,
Hmm.
and he's been that bobber. He's been that bobber. You think he's going to go under, but the man is he's a savage, and he's got a lot of non-quitting in him. He's one of one, man. Tim Fall, great guy. Anybody up there probably has ran into him, knows what kind of guy he is. Hopefully we'll get him down for that beach week or
Hmm.
sometime soon. Maybe
Nice.
he's the type of guy that'll probably want to come when it's really cold there. But with the Lions also on the schedule this year, maybe we can get him down. That game's going to be phenomenal because that is going to be the game where everybody's going into that box that they've had, up in the garage for a long time, and they're pulling their orange old creamsicle. They're pulling out the Leroy Selman jerseys, the Doug Williams jerseys, the vintage Warren Sapp, Mike Allstott, John Lynch jerseys, because that's our throwback game will be against the Detroit Lions. So I like when they go back to those old uniforms, especially Tampa. That the colors they have now. There's quite a few teams that got similar colors, but man, when they wore those creamsicles, that just there's no other team that had anything similar to what they were wearing
Here's
back
another
then.
shout out. Here's another shout out from Matt. You should see our videos walk into our rooms from the Waffle House at 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning when they're coming out of the Waffle House. That would be it's phenomenal what people do that early in the morning when they're a little inebriated and they got a nice full belly. So,
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's
so,
been. Go
so
ahead.
Coach, what's the life lesson for the day?
Yeah, that was the life lesson of today is just how to remain calm, during the storms,
Right.
during those waves when they're hitting. I think we named a couple good ones.
Hmm.
When you're really feeling it, maybe just bite into that lemon, bite into that lime, splash some cold water on your face. Take a step back. Detach yourself from the situation and make a good decision. If you don't know what a good decision is, well, think of the smartest person or the sharpest tool and say, man, well, what would Tony Robbins do?
Hmm.
What would the Iron Sheik do? Yeah, so I think I think that's it. And yeah, challenge yourself. That's why I do the weird stuff I do, is so, mentally, if it gets too hot, well, I've been there, I've been in that car
Mm-hmm.
before and just gasped for air, or it's freezing. Well, I've been in that pool and,
Right.
got out and had 3 Adam's apples, so.
Oof. Wow.
And yeah, with the that apple cider vinegar, man, that'll humble you real quick. I don't think I could just sit there and take a swig of it and not do the sick face.
Right.
I think I sent it to you one morning
You
where
did.
I yeah, right.
You
That's
did.
that's the face every time. Yeah,
And
that's
you get the hardcore apple cider vinegar. I
oh
buy the
yeah.
one. I think White House makes it. It's lemon and cinnamon and honey mixed into it.
Oh, that's good.
The
Yeah, that's
flavor,
good.
and it still tastes bad, but not as bad as that the hardcore apple cider vinegar. I can't say it's unflavored because it's got a flavor. Whew. It's hardcore stuff, but yeah, that will light you up.
Hey
Apple cider
Johnny,
vinegar.
give me a moment. I got somebody coming to the house, so I got to run really quick. So
That's
do
no
your
problem.
thing.
We'll keep it
Yep.
going. We'll keep it going. The apple cider vinegar gives you energy, believe it or not, even though it tastes terrible. The apple cider vinegar, when you take it, it cures your appetite. It quenches your not quenching. It suppresses your appetite, so you eat less. It balances out the pH of the stomach acid that you have in your stomach. Your stomach is filled with hydrochloric acid, folks. That's what's in there. That's what breaks down your food before it enters your intestines. The apple cider vinegar helps you digest your food. What's in there balances out the acid, the acidity of your body. If let's say if you got a bad skin rash, well then your pH of your body, your acidity, dry skin, and all that, it's all out of whack. The apple cider vinegar over time, this is an instantaneous cure, but over time it will balance out the pH of your body and do away with all that. I found that when I take it, it doesn't. It does give me energy, but it really, really suppresses your appetite. It really does. Great stuff. Great stuff. I never thought I'd say that about apple cider vinegar before, but this man turned me onto it. So it is what it is. Really do love that stuff. Really do love it. Sounds weird to say, but I really do love it. You've got to get the kind when you buy it at the store if you want to try it. When you buy it at the grocery store, it's available in all grocery stores. In the aisle where they have the vinegar and the oil and all that. But you got to get the kind that's got the debris that's all floating around. Let me show you with my coffee cup. It's all this cloudy stuff, material floating around the bottom of the bottle. You've got to get that. Shake it up before you pour yourself a shot. I do it in a little shot glass because I am Johnny Bottles. So I pour it in a little shot glass, knock it back, and that's it. That's all you got to do. You do that in the morning. You can do it at night. A lot of people do it at night because it balances. For those who are diabetic out there, it aids in balancing out your blood sugar. It balances out all that. So I found that I would eat in the morning. I'd eat a breakfast of sausage, eggs, whatever, sausage, eggs, toast, English muffin, or bacon and eggs, and that would be my go-to, probably bacon and eggs every morning. I'd eat that with 2 pieces of toast, with like 2 cups of coffee. And even though I had 2 cups of coffee, I'm sitting on the couch watching TV going, because I'm a night owl, folks. I stay up late. I go to bed like 1:30 in the morning, and I wake up at 6:45 to do this show. So I have a sleep deficit. I know it. I admit it. Don't shame me. I do have a sleep deficit, but I sit there on the couch going, I just go to sleep for a little while. I got to fight to stay awake because my blood sugar was out of whack. But with the apple cider vinegar, I don't have that feeling. I don't have that feeling of fullness and wanting to doze off after I take a shot of that and eat. So it's pretty amazing stuff. I've never actually dreamt of doing it before until I watched him do it, Coach Bottlez. So let's see. We got some more stuff here. Tim's one hell of an awesome dude. He's a complete savage, says Matt Davis. Cass might not be able to make the game for Lions Tampa, and I may need a wig man, Tim Fall. You may have to help your man Matt navigate through the wild streets of Tampa.
Yeah, sorry about that, Johnny. Yesterday, Miss Bald, she had seen a roach in the bathroom, and so she killed the roach and trashed the bathroom. So yeah, we've got some guys coming to spray it on out for us. So
hey, down here they have what's called, folks, palmetto bugs, which are these copper colored. They're the color of pennies. And there's a little bit of black with them too, but mostly they're the color of a penny. They're called palmetto bugs. They are cockroaches on steroids. You could get some. As soon as we moved in that week, there was one in the bathroom. They're always in a bathroom. They're always around a damp type of, a water supply. There was one as big as my thumb on the wall, and I had to go and take a hammer and kill that sucker. And then I had to, you know why they're called palmetto bugs? Do you know why they're called palmetto bugs? Because they breed and they live in the ground during the colder weather, the chillier weather in Florida, in the roots of palm trees. Where your palm tree is planted, that's where they crawl out of there because they feed on the root system of the palm trees when they're dormant. And then they go and they seek out another form of dampness, any area that will retain a certain amount of dampness for a period of time. Hey, a roach can drink a drop of water, and that's good for them for a week. Insects do drink. They drink fluids, they drink water, and they need that. So, and every once in a while, if you go underneath the kitchen sink, you might see one. But we blasted, we sprayed, and knock on wood, or whatever this desk is made out of that I'm beating on right now. I'll knock on my head. Knock on wood.
I gotcha.
We haven't seen any in a month and a half, so it's a good thing. And we weren't overrun, folks. They'll say, oh, he lives in a house. He lives in a house that's covered in bugs. He's got roaches everywhere. No, we don't have roaches everywhere. I've got 4 huskies in this house, and they'll take on they'll take on all comers, pal. They'll tear anything up. We've down here in Florida, we have what's called a knolls, which are, for lack of a better explanation, think a chameleon. They're American chameleons. The chameleons you see from Africa with the fin going down their head and the eyes on the side of the head that go in different directions, that's an African chameleon that you see in TV commercials and all that. And then a knoll looks like the Geico gecko, for the best way I can describe it, with thinner, skinnier toes. And they're everywhere where I'm at. They're everywhere. And a couple of them come into the house, and they made a nice hors d'oeuvre for 1 or 2 of the huskies. They were a nice meal.
Right.
You've got them down there, don't you, Coach?
Yeah, she will. She'll scoop them up like, a little leftover macaroni and cheese fell on the ground, man. She will just slurp them things up without a doubt.
Mr. Big says the apple cider vinegar helps with the blood pressure. When you were gone, I was telling everybody about me taking apple cider vinegar and what it does for you, the health benefits. And he says it helps with blood pressure. Yes, it does. I did look that up. It does help with blood pressure.
Yeah, digestion, all kinds of good stuff. Yeah, it's got so many health benefits. We take a shot of liquor, and that doesn't have a whole lot of health benefits. Why not take a shot of something that does? You know what I mean? Why not?
Matt says he does it in the morning with his greens.
Yeah,
I guess he pours it in the greens. So... And he also said that, Johnny, I do it just like you, shot glass and all.
Yeah, I do the same regiment. Yeah, same regiment. Yeah. Matt has been one that has, he's fought in every battle and won every single one of them. And I tell you what, he was one that probably dropped over 100 pounds. And, when you see he still has his ID, his driver's license. And when he shows you that picture and then you look at him, you're just like, no freaking way, and when you can do something like that kind of accomplishment, there's not a whole lot of stuff you can't do. You know what I mean? You have the mind power to drop 100 lbs. I mean, what can't you do? You know what I mean? The guy is up for a challenge, and man, he does a lot of savage stuff that not average or normal people do. But he is also one that he tests his mind, and he's a big believer in stronger body, stronger mind. If you get the body right, the mind is gonna follow. That's just one of his big core beliefs. And yeah, it was super awesome, because we had gone to a beach week. That's where we actually met him. And then like the next year to see him, it was just blew my mind. I was like, well, I remember the tattoos, but this isn't the same dude. And then when he would show pictures, it was just like, my goodness, man, let me latch onto this guy. This guy can teach me something. This guy can show me something. And yeah, man, we just formed a unbreakable bond, man. We hit each other up all the time. I'll hit him up sometimes while I'm in the sauna, just sweating like a hostage, But yeah, it's awesome to people that have battled different things and gone through stuff like what our guy Ron is going through, what our guy John is going through. When you have individuals that have battled through things and they come out better, after the fact. You need to learn from those guys. You need to gain wisdom through what was probably their misery or some of their worst times. You know what I mean? It's an amazing thing to have guys like that on your side. That's what you got to do. When you're going through these depressive states, you have to will yourself, call a friend, get through it. You're not going through it alone. Trust me, there's a lot of people that just do not want to open that they don't want to open that envelope. But right. Yeah, it is. Got to weather that storm.
That's right.
And you do. You have to remain calm through the chaos. Make a good decision.
Coach, you remember that movie from the 90s, The Crow?
Yeah. It was Brandon Lee, correct?
Yes, the late Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son. Yeah.
Yeah, rest in peace.
He had a line in that movie, The Crow, because in every scene of that movie, it seemed like it was pouring down rain. I think it was set in Seattle, if I'm not mistaken, which is a very depressing city, not just because of all the urban unrest that's going on there, but because in the weather, it does rain a lot, much like London. It rains quite a bit there, too. Brandon Lee's big line in the movie was, as he said to the little girl who he helped, "Can't rain all the time." And he had a smile on his face when he said that. And that was a line that he used when he was a human, and then when he changed over to whatever he was, a supernatural being, he said it to her, too, with the face paint and all that, and that's how she knew who he really was when he said, "It can't rain all the time." And folks, it can't rain all the time. You could be having a thunderstorm of problems right now, but it's going to clear up. It's going to stop. The deluge will stop, and things will get better. You just have to believe that, and it will. Mindset, Coach, right? It's all about the mindset.
Yeah, absolutely. Just look at it like, somebody put a stamp on it and they're over in the West Coast, or if you're on the West Coast, somebody put a stamp in it and they're on the East Coast. Good times are on the way. Just be ready to grab them and embrace them, grab them and embrace them.
That's right.
For me, something as small as looking at, pictures of the grandkids. It can bring so much joy to me within an instant. I could have all the problems of the world, but look at a picture with me and Aria, and boom, I'm golden.
Right. Absolutely. It's great to have family. And a lot of people don't have family. A lot of people out there, they feel like they're all alone. You're not all alone. You got Totem Pole Nation. Tune in every morning, Monday through Friday. You got any problems? Just, hey, we got a live chat going on right now. And if you got any problems whatsoever, hit us up in a live chat. We'll talk to you. If you got to talk to somebody, talk to us. If you feel like you've got no one. That's what we're here for. That's why we do life lessons every morning. This man right on the screen to my left doesn't have to do this. He doesn't have to be an on-camera guy, but he wants to. He wants to impart his philosophies and his mindset and a lot of things that he did and used to tell his players when he was a coach, actively, 24/7. The coaching job just doesn't stop when practice is over. A lot of these kids look for guidance. They look for someone to bolster their moral fiber and their stamina, their mental stamina. You've got to be strong mentally, not just strong physically. And this man right here has done that to all his players that he's dealt with in the past. Here's another one from Matt Davis, Coach. Oh, let me. Mr. Big did say The Crow was a great film. Great film.
Without a doubt.
Folks, if you haven't seen
Without
The
a doubt.
Crow, look it up. I mean, it's probably streaming on a free service somewhere. Great movie, very depressing. It's not the feel-good movie of the summer. It was a very depressing movie about death, about new beginnings and things like that. And sometimes new beginnings can be very, very rough. Matt Davis says, 100% Coach Bald. Without you, I wouldn't be where I am at today. An amazing friend, an amazing man. And I'm honored to be able to call you my brother, one of my best friends. God bless you, Matt Davis. God bless you.
Yeah, man. And just to chime in on that, Matt, I really appreciate that. Maybe I said something that, it got you inspired and everything, but bro, it was all you, my man. You did the steps. You listened. You believed. You were the one that did it. I appreciate that, but right back at you, brother.
There you go. There you go. Mr. Big says, I guess this is a line from the movie The Crow also. Best line ever is, mother is the word for God from the mouth of every child.
Man, amen.
And if you ever have any problems whatsoever, folks, talk to Mr. Big. Hit him up at Milwaukee Mob 2 or on Twitter. Mr. Big, he's another guy. He takes on all comers. He doesn't back down from anybody. If you need help, you talk to Mr. Big. He's seen a lot. He's done a lot. And please, please, please check him out. Check him out on Twitter.
Yeah, amen. That's what Life Lessons is about. Me and Bottles have gone through different phases in our lives where it was the best of times, it was the worst of times, and you know what? If we can just help one person, change one person just a little bit, and they can keep getting a little bit better, over time, and that's the thing. It's making those steps and taking those steps and doing the small things, to get better. But if you do them over a long period of time, you stick to your diet, or you stick to your workout, people don't put on 20 pounds in 1 month. So you can't think that you're going to take off, 20 pounds in a month. It's a slow process, but over a long period of time, those little things can change your life. You can be the best version of yourself, and that's what we're here about. We want to see you being the best version of yourself, and that's what's so great about coaching is you get kids that have special qualities, and maybe they don't see it, and you point it out to them, and you point it out to things that maybe they're not doing correct or that they should work on. And it's a blessing when you see them work on those things and they start molding themselves. And then, next thing you know, the sky's the limit. Maybe they're an MMA fighter, or they're playing on a Sunday or something like that. But yeah, the same with, somebody that might be, addicted to a certain drug or having a alcohol problem, to get them, from being able to not have those problems anymore. That is getting a kid, into the NFL to me. That is getting a kid into mixed martial arts, being a professional fighter, to me. That's it's coaching at all levels. And that's what everybody needs, and I tend to gravitate to people. I tend to gravitate to kids that did not, have a strong father figure, in their house, because I never did. And it was always my coaches that, I always said, well, what would, Coach Bland do? What would Coach Terry do? What would Coach Paulette do? What would Coach Taylor, and that's kind of where I got a lot of my, just who I am. That's what I kind of come from. And I always, that's how you can reprogram it. You got to learn from things you don't have. It can help you figure out what you want, what you need. And, like, that's the thing when I found the woman of my dreams, and I inherited 2 beautiful daughters. I didn't know the first thing about being a father, but I knew what not to do.
Right.
A lot of times it was just shut your mouth, give a big hug, and say, hey, we're better than this. You know, you're better than that. You'll learn from this. It's not the end of the world. I love you. You know?
Yeah, it's never the end of the world. Everything passes. Everything passes. Coach, what do we have coming up on Totem Pole Nation today?
Today,
anything scheduled?
Let me see here. I think our next scheduled event is going to be, you know, we're doing life lessons tomorrow. Lambo might go on a rant. Lambo might get on here. I'm not sure. I got to catch up with him. We just give him the ball, let him run with it. You know?
Exactly.
If he wants to start throwing stuff up, man, throw stuff up. But yeah, we'll collabo with those guys. But yeah, as far as I know, you know, after us, it's going to be that Saturday night event that we got going on.
Right.
And I'm sorry, Friday night event that we got going on. Not sure what is going on for the weekend. We'll get that all squared away. But yeah, let me give a shout out to our sponsors. I got my bug guy over here, so I'm gonna have to tap out. But a huge shout out to Cultivate Wellness. Check those guys out. Website will tell you all the information you need to know. And a huge shout out to St. Pete Rejuvenate. I'm gonna tap out, Johnny. You take it from here, my brother.
All right, folks. I'm going to tap out also. So ends another Life Lessons. I hope you all have a great day. Turn the coach's microphone off. He always he forgets that from time to time. And behind the scenes, you're about to hear behind the scenes at the Coach Bold House, but I turned that off for him, folks. We've got Square Circle Maniacs, the wrestling podcast, is coming up this Sunday at 4 p.m. It's no special guest this week. It's just going to be the three of us shooting the breeze over the wonderful world of professional wrestling. Tune in for that. We've got the Mr. Big After Hours, After Dark podcast coming up Friday night, 10 p.m. live on Totem Pole Nation. Pour yourself a nice cocktail, a nice old-fashioned, a Manhattan, a wall banger. Make yourself a nice drink, even if it's just scotch on the rocks. Fire up a cigar, as I call them, a heater. Fire up a heater, a nice little macanudo, or maybe a backwoods with a little something special in it. Enjoy that. Enjoy that while you're listening to Mr. Big and I chop it up about the seamy side of the mafia. Did he really have a clean side? Well, they've done some good things. Mr. Big and I will talk about that later. Wait a minute, we've got another one right now. Mr. Big says, party on! And we certainly will, right here in Totem Pole Nation. Check us out. Subscribe. We need the shekels. We need the shekels in the till. So please subscribe and give us a thumbs up, folks, if you like what you see. If you like the content on Totem Pole Nation. Not just this show, but all the shows. Please subscribe. Helps the YouTube algorithm, like I said earlier. And it shuffles the YouTube video deck of cards in your recommended feed on YouTube. It will show you all our different programming. You'll just pop up in there. That's if you're not subscribed, of course. But please subscribe. Everybody seems like they say that on their YouTube videos, but it really does help people to find us. And if you can't find us on YouTube, follow Totem Pole Nation on Twitter. Follow Totem Pole Nation on Facebook. Follow all that good stuff, folks. And hey, I'm Johnny Bottles. That guy was Coach Bald. And we are out, baby.